I find those sofas are really put you to sleep when you sit in them.
It's happened before, so I understand.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're all boring,
Russ, thank you for being here. And we did mention a little bit about the first Woodstock, because back then you were driving a tractor, is that right?
but that's how I started out my acting career. I built a house up in both Vermont and New England, and I got a job driving a tractor to work with heavy equipment. Yeah, I helped build a stage for Woodstock. Your younger people have no idea what that is.
Well, it's funny because after that, not long after that, your career as a performer begins, but it doesn't begin here in the United States. It happens more so over in the UK, right?
I know, I was there.
Yeah, you were there, but I wasn't, so I was just wondering if you could fill me in on how that happens, or what you were even doing over there.
It's a joke.
I was saying, yeah.
No, I had a buddy who was working as a social worker in London. They sent me postcards who wants to come to visit. And I did. Intended on staying for a week, and I stayed 10 years. And that's where my acting.
True enough. Okay.
Well, now I can see everybody.
There we go. So yeah, we'll hang out up here. So when Cheers ends up coming around, you come back to the U.S., and you end up making up the character of Cliff in the audition.
Right.
How does that happen?
Well, I made up the character.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He answers his own questions. Well, they sent me into a audition, and like I said, I never had any training, so I didn't know how to audition, didn't know what was going on. And anyway, I just wanted to make him laugh, so I did. And left, and 2 days later, I got the call. Thank you. Is that? Man, it's me.
It's just part of the humor, it's the microphone, that's the problem, really. Yeah. Well, so Cheers comes around, and it takes a little while to build a little momentum. When was it that you realized that y'all had a hit on your hands?
When I got that first paycheck. Oh, wow, look at this. You could buy a house with this stuff. For me, it wasn't, I didn't pay much attention. And it was about 5 years into it, I realized it was a big hit. Because they give you the numbers, and those are just numbers. Can't put faces to them. And then we went to Boston. They were going to have a big parade for us and stuff. And I was kind of nonplussed about it. Big deal. So the crowd, it turned out that it was the largest crowd in the history of the city of Boston, including the Red Sox, the Celtics, and the Pope. So we beat them all. So I thought, hey, that's a popular show. We're doing okay, But that's it.
Well, those nuns at the Catholic school, they'd have been really impressed if they saw you out draw the Pope, right?
Oh, I don't know.
There's so many things that you've worked on, so many great roles, movies, TV shows, and only so much we have time for it here. And I think a lot of folks...
Why, what else has happened?
Well, there's a couple people out in line there waiting for you, that kind of thing. But, I think a lot of folks are really interested in your time with Pixar.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about how that relationship starts and just how it keeps going?
Yeah. I wish I had better stories.
Yeah?
But that was a fun call. Somebody called and said, you want to do a voice of a pig? I said, sure. And that's how it started.
Because the answer is always yes, right?
No.
Not necessarily.
No, but I just thought, oh, okay. I mean, this was past week. I had so many inquiries. One about a film, one about going over to Europe. They just just wink, they would go, But, no, if it's taking place in some place I want to go, I'll count it there. I guess like Gandhi, the film Gandhi, and I did another film that took place in Malta, the Mediterranean, and that's how the bottom line for me is the excitement of traveling to a spot I've never been.
I like that. It's very nice.
That's why I came to Lafayette.
I mean, the food's a pretty good incentive. It is for me, that's for sure.
What's that?
The food's a pretty good incentive. For me, it is.
Where's a good place to go?
Let's shout out some places. Where's some local favorites here in Lafayette?
Oh, he's good.
Oh, y'all, no. Y'all been eating out here. Don't get shy on me now. Give me a place.
Pizza Village.
Bezos.
Like Cajun Creole.
Bezos.
Seance? Okay. Bezos, maybe? Yeah. Uncle T's.
Uncle T's?
Uncle T's.
All
All right, we're putting that one in the memory bank right now.
What about Zydeco?
We want to hear some Zydeco.
I like my wife board in the truck.
Préjons. There we go.
How do you spell that? Beijão. Welcome.
Spelling doesn't really mean anything down here in Cajun. We all know. Look, I live down here, okay? Well, look, I'm sticking with Pixar for a minute. Is there a Pixar character that you voiced that you have a greater affection for than any other?
But, not really. Well, Hammy the Pig seems to be the most popular, but for me, P.T. Fleet. Come on in. These are my cousins from Nebraska.
Really?
No, I'm not kidding.
Which way it's gonna go?
I have no idea. Do you want to come in? We can hear you.
I didn't know, but they answered in the affirmative when you said that. I think they thought that they were your cousins whenever you said that.
I can always play along.
Right, of course.
You want to grab a chair,
Well, no, we
Or
can
your
get
mom.
away with this one.
Oh,
or
gotcha.
you want to put them up on stage? Let's see.
I'll bring them up.
Oh, he said yes.
Well, yeah.
Go right ahead.
Come hang, come hang out. Well, look, I know we have plenty of questions out in the audience. There's only so many we can get to, so we're going to try to get to as many as we can. Hand up if you do. Captain America has a question.
Yes, sir.
You ever answered a question from an actual superhero before?
I am a superhero.
Of course.
All right.
So you answer your own now.
All right. My question.
All right, what's your name?
Quinn. Do you know who Archibald Leach, Bernard Schertz, and Lucille Lacheur are?
Archibald Leach. Who's that?
Bernard Schertz and
Bernard Schwartz
Lucille Lacheur.
and Lucille Lacheur. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, those are the three people that have been in my kitchen.
Okay. Thank you. Hey,
All right.
Cliff was great on Jeopardy, so
That's
Yeah.
a line from Jeopardy.
From Jeopardy.
When Cliff was in Jeopardy, and he asked him the question, who are those people? Those are the real names of Tony Diz, Kirk Douglas,
Cary Grant
Cary Grant.
and Joan Crawford.
All right. We got another one back here. Friend, tell me your name.
Kirk
Alan.
Douglas, Cary Grant.
Alexander,
Hello.
during your guest appearance in season 9 of Frasier, Cheerful Goodbyes, most of the Cheers people who hadn't had individual guest roles in Frasier were lumped in together in that episode. Whose idea was it to tailor Cheerful Goodbyes around Cliff Clavin's retirement party?
Whose idea? David Angel. That's a writer. He was the best writer there. This is, hey, what's your name?
What's your name? What's your name? Bennett. Oh,
Hey, Bennett.
Bennett.
Matt. Matt's right here. He's right there.
Here, man, here.
Tell us about Toy Story.
He's not Mac.
Here, Bennett.
Bennett, come here. This is Mac. He plays Mac.
Yeah, I do. Hey, Bennett, you know any songs? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Toy Story, what?
No, I was going to ask Bennett to just, ask us a question for you here. I think he's a little preoccupied though. What's your name, Fred?
Oh, hi there, my name's Hayden. My question was actually about your support, your background role, Contract Back. Mainly, like, what was that like? What was her rehearsal at all with Carrie Fisher? And also, was the set for Hoff like actually like was it super cold, or did it just look like that?
Good job.
And that's probably 3 questions.
It was talking kind of fast there. Go ahead.
It's all good. It was related to your background appearance in Empire Strikes Back as the soldier who tells Leia that the shelter must be closed. It's down to 3 questions. What was that like? Like, what were the aims, some stories on the set of Empire Strikes Back? Was what was it like for her from Carrie Fisher, if you did it at all? And was the set for Hoth like super cold, or did it just look like that?
Just look like that. That was all indoors in London, Elstree Studios. Was there another part to the question?
Did you rehearse with Carrie Fisher? Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Tell us the other part.
See, wait a minute. What about Carrie Fisher again?
Did you have any rehearsal time with Carrie Fisher?
No. Not really.
All right. What's your name, Fred?
Morgan Schofler. Okay, so what was your favorite line to say from one of the Pixar movies?
I guess Andy the Pig. Hey, it's a mystery book I could punch up to you. Like that.
All right, I saw some other hands here. Let's not get shy now. Oh, there you are. Yes. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Tolu. Do you have a favorite Pixar movie in general?
No. I was just watching one the other night. It was on the TV, and I'm just so taken and impressed at the artistry of the detail that they put into every one of their products. I'm just amazed at it. It's like everyone's a Rembrandt or a Da Vinci. So, and I have no artistic talent. I mean, I could paint a garage, but to actually do drawings like that, I'm honored to have to work with Pixar. I have 28 years now.
All right, friend. What's your name?
Cody.
I like your hat.
Who decided for the character of Cliff to be a postman?
Say what?
Where'd the idea to make Cliff a postman come from?
Well, I came up with the character in the audition, and I said, whatever you make him, make sure he's got keys dangling over his belt. Because if you notice, anybody who's got a lot of keys hanging from the belt, they know everything. And I dare you to try this. Someone who's got a lot of keys dangling has to have a question. Could be, when was the first suede bicycle invented? Or how many moons does Jupiter have? Or whatever it is. Just say, I don't know. Because they're authorities. They're showing you their authority by the number of keys dangling from their belt. Because they know everything about everything each one of those keys opens. They're an authority. So I said, whatever, as long as he's got keys hanging from his belt.
All right. Who else has a question? It's all right. I do have one since we're talking about Cheers here, because there have been claims made over the years that an establishment might have the original bar from Cheers, right?
Yeah.
But there is a way to identify which one is the original one.
There is, yeah. My name is carved in where I sat. Because I always carried a pocket knife with me since I was 8 years old. I grew up in that America where parents weren't afraid you should cut yourself. Say, yeah, here's a knife. Go kill something. And so I just took out my knife and I carved my name at top.
All right, so if anyone makes the claim, you can call them out on it to their face right there if the name's
That's
included
right.
in there. All right, who else has something on their mind? I know someone's out there. All right, there we go. Look, we just have to get over it. All right, tell us your name.
My name is Chad. In all the roles you played, do you have anyone that's your favorite role?
What was the last part of that?
Do you have any one of those roles that is one of your favorites?
Of which
Of all the
Pixar?
roles you played. Like throughout your acting career, you played different roles. Do you have anyone that's really one of your favorite roles, or just they're all the same?
Yeah, I used to do stage shows throughout Europe, and my own shows, actually with another fella who went on to become an undercover policeman, Ray Hassett. And he asked me not to talk about it too much, because his life is still in jeopardy. But one of the characters I did in those shows was called Captain Cretin. And that was, I think, my favorite character to do. Because Captain Cretin, I took the bottoms of Coke bottles, I cut them up, and I made a frame, put them up. So anyway, set of glasses, I had bottoms of Coke bottles. And then I could never find a window to fly out of. So anytime there's emergency, I jump and I'd hit the wall. And that was pretty much the whole sketch. Me trying to get out of the room. But I loved doing that character.
All right, we got another one over here.
Hi, my name is Wayne. For the character of Cliff Clavin, when you were filming the bar scenes, did y'all have a lot of opportunity for improvisation that made it onto the episodes?
Well, the second year, they trusted me enough to let me just fly. The director, Jimmy Bros, said, fill in 30 seconds, rats. That's it. So I would. There was one where the cameras were moving and I had to fill in some time, and I had Norm, Paul Wilson, and Steve, I think. Anyway, I had them gather around me when I was sitting, and I was drawing on a napkin, and I said, and that, gentlemen, is how the tractor seat was invented. You see, because in the audience, people listening to it, they fill in the blanks. And that's what makes it funny, when people can try to figure it out. What the hell is he talking about?
All right, we got some more over here. Yeah. Tell you what, I'll cross back over to you.
What a guy, what a guy.
It's the only way I get in my steps, you know. All right, what you thinking?
I have one more question I actually just thought of. So when you were living in London, did you have a favorite place to eat? Or if you didn't, do you have any recommendations?
Did I have a recommendation where to eat in London? When I first got there, I was sleeping on other people's couches, you know, and finally I got a place of my own, but it was an abandoned building. I lived in an abandoned building for 2 years. But because I was a carpenter, I fixed it up. Squats in London. And the local greengrocer, his name was Nizam. Every day, at the end of the day, he'd save me the stuff that he couldn't sell, like bruised Brussels sprouts and carrots that were blemished. And he'd just give them to me at the end of the day. And I would cook them up on a stove that I had built out of an oil drum, a wood stove that knocked a hole in the tube. Anyway, long story. But that's the part I like the best, is the fiddling around. making stuff. But, so, it was an important meal, it wasn't my favorite meal. My favorite was the Indian restaurants nearby. I got to be a big fan of Indian restaurants. And one of the better ones was called the Standard. That's about it.
Okay. Who else? Who else has something
What's that?
in mind?
I'll keep that in mind for if I ever visit London. I really don't go to London today, so I had to.
He'll keep it in mind, he said, yeah. Well, do you have a recommendation for a couch to sleep on as well in London too? We got
I have some not to sleep on too.
That might be more important to know, honestly. All right, tell us your name.
Hey, John, my name's Ken. If I'm right, there were only 4 Cheers episodes that you weren't in. Was that just the writers didn't have something, or were you occupied with another project? And do you still?
No, the first year I wasn't a regular. I was a hand for hire. And, because they didn't know who Cliff was. I invented it. So they took a shot at it and let's see if the thing works. And so the second year they made me a regular, but the first year I wasn't a regular.
All right, I think we have time for a couple more. I see movement and then people think better of it and they put their hand down, that's what happens. Yeah, we got one over here.
Is that the Knights of St. John?
Mine? On? This one?
On the front of his, yeah,
Armor shirt.
what is it?
It just looks like armor.
It's just an armor
okay.
piece, yeah. All right, what you thinking?
Of all the interactions we saw between Cliff and his mother, there wasn't a lot of mention, insofar as I can remember, of Cliff's unseen and likely long-deceased father. Did you ever have an idea of what the backstory behind Cliff's father was?
Yeah, Cliff's father was in a show, and snuck out the back window. Apparently he was in trouble with the law and living in Australia or someplace. But that was the only time.
Okay, I think we have time for one more. Let's see, all right. All right, tell us your name.
My name is Blake, and I have more of a comment than a question. First of all, thanks for letting my son get up on stage and say hello. We watch Cars every day.
Well, if Elon Musk could bring his kid in the Oval Office, that's the least I can do.
Fair enough. There was an episode of Wings where Cliff and Norm chartered a plane from Boston to Nantucket to go on a fishing trip.
Oh, yeah.
And they never made it to as far as to go fish. They made it to the Club Car restaurant. They made it to the bar at the restaurant. That's as far as they went. And then later on at the end of the episode, they returned back to the airport and flew back to Boston. And they seemed like they really enjoyed just taking a trip down to the Club Car to see Nantucket. But I enjoyed the show Wings as well. And that episode too, I thought it was a lot of fun too, because I'm a Cheers fan as well. So.
Yeah, that was the same writers. It's Cheers, yeah. David Angel, who I mentioned before, he was the key guy of Wings. He vanished at 9/11. He was in one of the planes with his wife, Lynn. And so that was a big day for the Cheers gang. We lost one of our own.
That's, I think that's a good point to go ahead and wrap this thing up here. Now, if you didn't get a question answered, John Ratzenberger, he's going to be at this table all weekend answering questions, right? So just make sure you head to the table. If you've already been to the table, just go back. You know.
What table is it? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, we're just informing you right now. I do have one question for you. Would you be willing to take a group photo with our friends here that showed up? Is that?
Say again?
Would you be willing to take a group picture with our friends that showed up to the panel? Can we do that real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't y'all come on in? I'll jump on the stage real fast and just come in. Do you want